Alright, music fans, welcome back to the Real Music Observer. It is Dave observing real music in real time for real people just like you and me. So I wanted to redo this video mainly because I didn't have all the information and I don't want to present something to give false hope. But all the reports I was reading is, Tom Petty looks as though he's passed away. It hasn't. The way it's been written is they pulled him off life support, which is different from just saying he's dead. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I'm also, I guess, I'm just in stunned disbelief. I'm just like, what the bleep is going on? So, what can I say about Tom Petty? In the first video I tried to talk about my memories as a kid. In 1982, took my first ride away from my normal area, geographic area, to go to a place called the Worcester Centrum, which I believe still exists, and to see Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I remember everyone in my high school class of 1983 loved Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And the album that got me hooked wasn't Damn the Torpedoes, it wasn't Hard Promises, it was Long After Dark. Tunes like Change of Heart, and of course the classic video song from MTV, You Got Lucky. And what I loved about Petty is he always tried to reinvent himself on every record. When he made that phone call to Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics to work on Southern accents, there were a few skeptical people. You've got this British synthesizer pop guy coming in to help you make a record about the South, and it worked. It was a brilliant album. Don't Come Around Here No More. It was a combination of different sounds, and it was fantastic. I remember when Jammin' Me came out. It's just this kind of back to basics, straight ahead rocker. Petty complaining about all the noise in the media around him. Brilliant song. And then, of course, Petty kind of goes off on his own, Full Moon Fever, but at that point, he's got the makings of this super group helping him, Traveling Wilburys, which we could do a whole video just about the Traveling Wilburys. But Full Moon Fever is just this amazing work of art from start to finish. It's not just Running Down a Dream, it's not just I Won't Back Down. I mean, this is a tour de force from start to finish. This was an artist who had fully matured and was hanging out with the likes of George Harrison, Ringo Starr, and Jeff Lynne. And of course, Jeff Lynne tweaked those controls on that album, and sure enough, just an amazing record from start to finish. Learning to Fly. We can go into all of the work. Damn the Torpedoes, which was really before I became a hardcore Petty fan, set the standard for just audio quality. And it was Jimmy Iovine, I believe, helped produce that record, and it was just phenomenal. Petty himself was a rebel, which I always loved. He complained constantly about corporate media and record executives and those boys upstairs, as he liked to call them. He called them out when they were charging too much for his album Hard Promises when it came out, and he made a big stink about, hey, you're charging the fans too much money for this album. He did a song called The Last DJ, more or less lamenting the fact that what I lament all the time about how American corporate radio sucks. And it has sucked ever since that, and even before that song came out, when everything became programmed and synthetic and focus tested. It's just amazing. Petty was one of those guys who was an advocate for his own audience. He was blue collar. He was working class. He may not have lived that lifestyle once he became rich and famous, but he never left his musical roots. Whether it be doing a blues-based album or just getting back to the basics on some of his newer material, Tom never left what made him great. In fact, he was one of those guys that he just went his own way. He didn't need everybody else helping him up. He was all the help he needed. The only folks that really helped Tom Petty up all the time were the people in his band, and he couldn't have a better rock band with the likes of Ben Tench and Mike Campbell. I mean, those players in any other world would be so household and so well known. They are well known and well respected. In fact, all those guys would hang out with Don Henley and a plethora of those West Coast artists like Fleetwood Mac and so forth. This guy, in my lifetime, was probably one of the most creative artists I've ever heard. Just because he reinvents himself on just about every album he comes out with. And he is brash, he's opinionated, he's politically incorrect, and he always finds ways to go above and beyond what you're going to expect. And listening to him in high school and just hearing the type of music he was playing, I remember getting that live album. It's called Pack Up the Plantation Live, and the long version of Breakdown is like the greatest tease I've ever heard in a rock song. It just continues and continues, and he's got you hooked, and then he goes on this rant at the end of it, talking about maybe his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife, and it's classic Tom Petty. It's just everything about the guy just oozed rock and roll, but it wasn't about the glitz. I think of that song by Eric Clapton, I Don't Need No Glitter, Don't Need No Hollywood, and that's Tom Petty. That's him. He didn't need any of that. He just transcended all of that and became this mega rock star who was taught guitar, by the way, by Don Felder of the Eagles. So another great from, was it Gainesville area of Florida, has left the earth. We had Greg Allman not too long ago, and it's just a sad day, especially in light of what happened in Las Vegas last night. It's too much. It's overload. It's quit jamming me, if you know what I'm saying. So that's it for my video. I have not much more to add to it except that I will miss Tom Petty, but his music, of course, will live on, and he's got one of the greatest rock and roll catalogs ever assembled. I'm Dave, and this is the Real Music Observer, and we'll observe real music again, hopefully on a much better and happier note real soon.